Good morning / almost afternoon. My name is Alhashim, and I work for a company called Optimizely. I head up the sales and market development efforts at Optimizely. Pleased to be here today and talk to you a little bit about what I call selling in uncharted territory. So I want to start off with a question real quick. How many of you here sell or work for a company that sells a product, the category of which has existed for 15 years or longer? Okay. What about 5 years? What about, okay, great, 2 years? Great. So what I'm seeing here is a bit of a mix, but I think all of us probably universally, for the most part, all are at companies that sell products in markets that are relatively young, nascent markets. There's innovation going on, there's disruption going on, a lot of changes. The availability of the internet and data over the last 20 some odd years, publicly and mainstream market-wise, has made it so that data, there are companies coming in and changing the way we do things all the time. And I want to talk to you all about a challenge that we face at Optimizely, which is how to do discovery in a nascent market where BANT was just falling short and not working for us. So hopefully today you'll all walk out of here understanding how to do discovery, or the way at least Optimizely does discovery, and you'll walk away with a set methodology that you can use and apply tomorrow to help you do proper discovery and get the most out of your inbound interest at your company. So I want to start off first of all with a confession. I have really bad ADD. I have terrible ADD. I was probably the guy in Misha's training class, sitting in the back on my phone, checking Instagram, and email, and Snapchat. So it's been something I've struggled with all of my career. One of the positives of having ADD is that I end up reading 3 or 4 books at a time most of the time. The positive of that is that I end up taking these different learnings that maybe the author didn't intend for someone to kind of bleed all this information together, but I end up finding a lot of times common threads in different books, particularly business books and philosophy and psychology books. And it sometimes I glean something out of it that's really, I think, special and unique. So about 2 years ago, I was reading these 4 books at the same time. The Challenger Sale, I think, have anyone here not read The Challenger Sale, I guess? All right. Challenger Sale, Predictable Revenue, great book as well by Aaron Ross. Diffusion of Innovations, a bit of an older school one by Everett Rogers, and Crossing the Chasm. I'll talk about all of them in more detail in just a second. But the idea here is, or the common thread that I found unexpectedly, was that they all talked about, to some degree, in some way, shape, or form, consumer behavior, particularly with imperfect knowledge available in the market. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that. They also kind of talk about distribution and adoption. Again, the way technologies are adopted by the market over time, as Daniel mentioned. I'll dive into that in just a second, from a few different perspectives. I want to start with Aaron Ross. Seeds, nets, and spears. So in predictable revenue, the central premise is that many companies fail in this, what he calls the coals stage of their growth. Early on, your founders know some folks, they close some deals through word-of-mouth marketing, kind of grassroots marketing, what he calls seeds, and company starts taking off a bit. And later on, if you look at Salesforce and their growth, that was the early stage word-of-mouth growth. Later on, you end up, you have your sophisticated marketing channels, you've kind of figured it all out, you have revenue coming in, leads coming in that turn into revenue, you're great. But what he argues, and I'm doing a poor job probably of translating exactly his book because it's been a while, but what he argues is that companies oftentimes struggle to get out of the coals, the area where you're not sophisticated enough yet, but grassroots marketing or grassroots word-of-mouth marketing and sales just is not going to cut it anymore. So what he argues you need to do here is do outbound prospecting, aggressively towards your target customer. Right? Don't wait for them to come to you. You go after them. The other book that was on there, The Diffusion of Innovations, written by a guy named Everett Rogers, a communications scholar, and not to be confused with Kenny Rogers, country music sensation of the 19 whatevers. In the diffusion of innovation, he talks about how technology